Good piggies. Hello YouTube world, Pretend Farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. In this video, we're going to be discussing the differences between straw and hay. Some of you other pretend farmers out there might think they're the same thing. I know at one time I did, but even though a lot of people interchange the two terms, straw and hay are two completely different things. After this video, you're going to know what the difference is, and you're going to be able to make really good decisions. You're going to fit in a lot better with real farmers. Let's get into it. You know, it's been almost 2 years ago now that the pretend farmer became the pretend farmer. During COVID, we got chickens here on the pretend farm, and pretend farmer had absolutely no clue what he was doing, as he had never had any kind of farm animals before. I'll never forget the first time I went to my local co-op store and asked them for a hay bale. They just stared at me and said, "Well, we have straw." That kind of puzzled me, because I thought hay and straw were the same thing. So I said, "Well, okay, straw it is then." Well, come to find out, pretend farmer probably got made fun of after leaving there, because hay and straw are not the same things, and they have two completely different functions. Straw is these bright yellow gold looking grain stalks. Typically they're a byproduct of wheat or barley. And the thing with these stalks is, when they're harvested, they have like zero nutritional value. So these are something that you can't feed to your animals. Really, no matter what animals you have, they're not going to benefit from eating straw. You don't feed straw. Straw is used for bedding. What makes straw so great for bedding is it's really cushy, it's soft. Animals can kind of shift it around however they like it. It actually has a really high capacity to absorb moisture. When you think straw, think bedding. What about your hay though? Immediately you can tell the difference between straw and hay, because straw is going to be your bright yellow gold. Hay is going to be more of a greenish brown. It's almost going to look like dead grass, because that's essentially what hay is. Hay is either grass or alfalfa that's been allowed to mature, and when it's mowed down, it can be baled up and it's packed full of good nutrients that you can feed horses, cows, goats eat it, a lot of things really. Hay serves as more of a feed. Straw serves as more of a bedding. And you say, well, pretend farmer, why can't you just feed hay and use it for bedding? There's a lot of people that do use hay for bedding, and they'll feed hay. They make their own hay. Don't ever have to go buy straw because we've got hay around and it works for both purposes. Well, that it does, but the problem is hay doesn't have anywhere near the capability to absorb moisture, and it becomes a really soggy mess in a very short time period. It starts to mildew, mold. In chickens, it can cause respiratory issues. It just doesn't really make a good bedding. It will work, and we've used it for that before. Straw does a way better job at bedding than what hay does. Plus, if you've got larger animals that can be fed hay, it makes sense to either feed that hay that's nutritional to your animals or sell it to other people that have feed needs, and then use straw separately for your bedding. So many of you that watch this channel have chickens, and this might bring up the question, well, what's better to use for my chicken coops? Should I use straw for bedding, or should I use pine shavings? Well, pretend farmer looked into this. So straw absorbs moisture way better than hay. The problem with straw is it hangs on to that moisture, it becomes saturated. And while it takes straw a lot longer to mildew and start to grow bacteria and stuff versus hay, straw ultimately will get nastier, and then you've got this heavy, wet, nasty, mildewed straw that you're trying to shovel out of your coop and clean. Your chickens have been breathing it. They've been walking through this wet straw with droppings down in it. Straw is not necessarily the greatest bedding for a chicken coop, even though a lot of people use it. And here's a really cool thing that was pointed out to pretend farmer, and why I ultimately say that. Because chickens do not need bedding. Large animals like goats and pigs, cows, they bed down in bedding. Chickens don't bed in bedding, they roost on bars. Therefore, chickens don't need bedding, they need roost bars. What chickens need is litter to catch their droppings. Something that's gonna be absorbent, dry out those droppings, something that's going to absorb moisture but also release it and dry back out so that it doesn't start to mildew. That's why ultimately Pretend Farmer's opinion on this is that pine shavings are still the best bedding to keep using for your chicken coops. Not only are pine shavings better for moisture control, but they also help mask the odors and they dry out the droppings in the chicken coop and ultimately just make for the cleanest coop you're going to have. Now the cons of that is pine shavings tend to be dusty. Well, it's tit for tat. I really don't feel like a little bit of dust is going to hurt your chickens as much so as mildew and mold and stuff that could be growing in the midst of your straw and your hay. Now, having said that, Pretend Farmer has used straw before in the middle of winter, whenever it's super, super cold here on the Pretend Farm, because it does offer that cushy warmth. And at that point, if the chickens get really cold, they may actually go down in bed in that hay to stay warm. And I want them to have that option throughout the winter. So I'm not saying straw's a no-no. I'm not saying you can't use hay. I'm just giving you the facts here. As you can see here on the Pretend Farm, we're using straw down in our shack for our pigs to sleep on. And pigs are actually very clean. They don't poop where they sleep. I think what we're going to start doing here on the Pretend Farm is using this straw in our nest boxes on the chicken coop. What I'll do is I'll pull it from the house where the pigs sleep. I'll rotate it into the nest boxes in my chicken coop. As I remove it from the pigs, I'll replenish it with fresh new straw so that I kind of have this rotational thing going where the straw is not really sitting in any place, getting old for any time. We're just going to rotate it from the pigs to the nest boxes, and our primary litter in the chicken coop is still going to be pine shavings, which are going to do that good job of taking care of the droppings, all that good stuff. Moisture won't be a problem in the nest boxes so much. And since we've always got straw readily available to us down with the pigs and it doesn't get dirty, rather than just change that out ever so often and just dispose of it all, I think it would be a better use of it and save some shavings if we rotated that straw into our nest boxes and then just kept replenishing it down there where the pigs sleep. That's just my plan. That's what I'm going to try out. What's important is now you know the difference between hay and straw. See, he goes right for the hay because he's fat and he knows he can eat that. Chickens do love to nest in straw, and if you don't believe me, let me show you this. Well, hey there, chicken. Are you laying an egg down here in the pig shack? I know you are. I give you nest boxes, and this is what you do to me. So I know what you're thinking. You let the pigs out. Where the heck did they go? We're doing a little bit of supervised free ranging with the piggies, and honestly, it's working out pretty good. I would never leave them unsupervised, but as long as I can keep them away from the chicken coop and the flower beds, they love to graze on the pasture in the yard, and they really don't hurt anything at all. Let me show you how content they are. I just love seeing my animals happy. You know, you can't always make people happy, but these animals show true appreciation for what you do for them, and it's great. You may be wondering, well, what's your chickens into, Pretend Farmer? I haven't had a whole lot of time to do chicken videos here lately because I've been so busy trying to get these new pigs situated in. We've got something exciting about to happen here, and I want to show you in the coop what's getting ready to take place. Well, hey there, Colonel. You're a proud rooster this morning, aren't you? My goodness, look at all your ladies here. You are the Colonel, aren't you? All right. So that hen right there in the middle nest box, she has been broody for a couple weeks now. I honestly forget what day it even was. These eggs should be hatching any day now, and we're really looking forward to seeing how good of a mommy chicken she's going to be. This is her first run at being a broody hen. We don't know if she's going to be a good mommy or not, but I can tell you she is feisty and she's very protective of her eggs. We got a lot of exciting videos coming up on the Pretend Farm. Here soon we're going to do a 6-month review of our CoopWorks feed silo and water silos. I'm going to do another video about life here with 3 roosters that we've had now for a while and explain how that's working out, how that's going. Now, a lot of people's been asking me, Pretend Farmer, you got chickens, now pigs. What's the next animal on your list? Well, I'm pretty sure we got enough animals for now, but I'm not going to guarantee you down the road we might not get into honeybees. Honeybees are something I've looked into. I think it'd be really neat to harvest our own honey here on the pretend farm. But what I didn't understand and what a lot of people don't know is bees are a lot of work. It takes a whole lot of studying and knowledge to be able to keep bees. And it's not like you just go out there and empty the honey out of their boxes every month or something like that. There's a lot involved with bees. It's kind of expensive to get into. So bees are gonna be a while, but if we do anything else here on our pretend farm, we're gonna get bees, and then we'll have eggs, honey, we got sausage and bacon. Throw a little bread in there and you've got a complete breakfast. All right here on the pretend farm. In the meantime, just enjoy the videos we've got. And as always, if you ever have a request, shoot me a question. We just fulfilled a request about an egg-bound hen, and Pretend Farmer addressed some questions about bumblefoot in the last couple weeks. So I'm always glad to do a video for you, even if it's something I don't know. I'll research it out. We'll all learn and benefit from it, and we'll be just a little bit closer to going from that pretend farm status to being real farmers together. Till next time, this is the Pretend Farmer signing out.